What's going on YouTube? So really quick video today. It's nice out, don't want to spend all day in the garage. We're doing the mid-pipe. And I already got a couple sound clips from before, and I'm gonna get out and get some sound clips of after the install. So let's get to it. So the bike's stock right now, just besides the Akrapovic titanium slip-ons. Such a nice pipe. And you can see the stock. Cat is right there. Stainless mid-pipe. Hopefully the clamp they have works with the stock header, but it should. And this is stainless, so after it goes through a couple heat cycles, I hope it kind of turns a little bit blue like the titanium. It should discolor a little bit, as you can see with the welds. It kind of turns a little bit of blue there already. But yeah, get this on, get it through a heat cycle, see how she looks. You're not going to be able to see that much of it anyway, but it should sound unreal. Carbon pipes are off. Bike looks funny without them. These things are so freaking light, it's insane. It's like lifting air. They look so good. I was so nervous taking them off because there was no weight behind them. But they're sitting pretty. And there's the little splitter. Little Y, and this guy should pop pretty much just right out. Just pop the plastic trim out of the way here. And now there's just one last little mount here. So this guy on the frame, and it'll pop right out. Don't forget your O2 sensor. So it's all loosened off here, but it was a little tighter than I thought, and this Y is kind of awkward to get out. So I had to loosen the peg. I didn't take it all the way off, just kind of loosened it to get some flex here. All your brake stuff still connected. And just like that, it's out. I slid it out the bottom. And this thing's actually pretty heavy, so just for fun, I'm gonna weigh it, compare it to the new one. So that's on there. It's not touching the bench. 7.36 pounds. Back to pounds. Level it out here. So we're less than 2.5 pounds. Decent difference. So pretty easy job so far. I'm into it for maybe 15 minutes. Look at how much real estate we have. Looks naked with no pipes. All right, let's get this thing back in and see how she sounds. Enough playing around. So I was nervous about this clamp at the bottom. This was Yamaha's factory seal, not using that. And they had this little collar on there. And it actually fits perfect. You just slide the collar off and it's kind of a normal chunk of pipe. And it slides on pretty far, and that clamp's gonna bite really nice. All right, everything's back together. Pipes are back on the bike. Let's get this out on the street and see how it sounds. So just got back to the house, got the bike through a nice heat cycle. You can see that pipe is starting to change color a little bit. It'll probably take a little bit more time to change even more, but it's well on its way. So it's probably hard to tell in the video, but without the mid-pipe installed with the stock catalytic converter, I did have a little bit more of that crossplane burble. So between 4,000 and 5,000 RPM, it would just burble non-stop. And with the catalytic converter delete, mid-pipe installed, I was expecting the bike to be a lot louder. Wide open throttle, you did notice a little bit of a sound difference. It is a little bit louder. Not as loud as I was expecting though. It's not obnoxious. Just casually cruising, it was pretty much the exact same as before. The real main difference was I didn't have as much of that burble between 4,000 and 5,000 RPM on decel. So now between 4,000 and 5,000 RPM, where I got that non-stop burble before, I still have burble, but it's not quite as consistent, but the pops and bangs are a little bit louder. So a little bit farther in between the pops and bangs, but they're louder. And once in a while, you'll get kind of a pop that you almost feel it in the seat, and it does spit the odd flame here and there too. I would describe it almost as a sharp crackle or pop compared to the more tame burble with the stock cat. Looking back on the footage, the video quality didn't really pick that up, but that's why I just wanted to do a little recap. So at the end of the day here, the mid-pipe didn't make as big of a difference as I thought it was going to. I thought the bike was going to be a lot louder, so it's very similar to how it sounded before, but just with the odd snap and crack that's a bit louder. I am still happy with it, and it does sound good still. If you're installing the mid-pipe to try and gain a little bit more power out of the bike, it may have increased a little bit of power and throttle response, but I'm kind of splitting hairs. It's still very similar to before. The average rider probably won't notice much of a difference. So a main real benefit of the cat delete would be keeping a lot of that exhaust heat away from underneath your seat and your leg area. And I will say the exhaust temps are definitely a lot cooler now. Idling in traffic on a warm day, you're not going to get all that heat radiating up onto your leg and lower seat area, which is always a nice thing. I do have my Power Commander 5 adjusted for correct fueling with that mid-pipe, and you still get the odd flame out the tailpipe here and there. So fuel trim should be safe, and let's be real, everybody likes to see the flames out the back of the bike. But that pretty much wraps up this video. Hopefully it gave you guys some insight if you're thinking about doing a mid-pipe on your bike. And we'll catch you guys in the next one. Cheers.